time for an unboxing and build of the Scarab Occult Terminators. So recently I've been putting together my Thousand Suns. As you can see, I got some rubrics and the Infernal Master done. I've already gone ahead and I put together the leader here. I honestly can't remember his name offhand, but so far putting together the Scarab Occult Terminators has been easier than putting together any of the other models. And up until this point, even though I have assembled the Zangors, now I had not assembled them yet within this video, but it's fairly simple. It's easy enough to snip everything you need off of the sprue, pile it up where you want, just choose what pieces you want to use, and you can go back and assemble it as you go. Now, I've already assembled a couple of pieces here, as you can see. I was just kind of starting up and getting warmed up and testing things. But there are a lot of parts and pieces for these guys, but it's pretty much all straightforward how they go together. So I didn't really have a whole hard time doing a lot of the assembly here, because even though they're kind of big and chunky, they don't really seem to have too much in the way of parts that you can misconstrue or put in the wrong place. Now, as you can see here, I am just assembling what I need, or snipping what I need, so I can assemble it all as I go. For the first thing I did was assemble the basics. I got their legs, I got the torsos together, and then the legs together. And as you can see as I go, once I have all of that assembled, then I start piling up everything and putting everything together. I always, of course, always dry fit before you start putting any kind of glue on anything, because if you don't, there are some kits where you could try and put something somewhere and you don't get it. As clear and straightforward as it may seem, you always should dry fit. So once I'm done with all of these basics here, just the legs and the torsos, I kind of group them together, and then I start monkeying around with the configurations. Now, this is going to be my Soul Reaper cannon. You got to have the Soul Reaper cannon, and you got to have the Hellfire missile rack. Everything I've read said to do anything else would be, uncivilized per se. But so I have gone through, and obviously through the magic of video editing, you don't have to watch me snip and assemble every little thing. But I have here, I've assembled all of the arms with the swords on them. And I actually assembled one too many, because I realized after I was done that I had already assembled the leader. So, but that's okay. I have parts and pieces for later if I need them. But the various parts and pieces, there are some small parts, but for the most part, even though there are a couple of really tiny pieces, they're really not that hard to get together. They're not that hard to assemble. It looks amazing. I love the look of the Thousand Suns. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here with the assembly, and I'll be back in just a moment. Actually, before I start up my normal working loop music, let me share one thing with you that you definitely need to do. Save your pieces. So this little bin here is all of my spare Thousand Suns stuff, plus the remainder of the bases that I need for the rest of Hexfire. You need to save your bits, especially like the staff here, because if you plan on at any point making some boxes of Rubric Marines, and you want to make small squads of 5, which I usually do so far, at least that's what I've done, you might need the extra pieces to assemble yourself an aspiring sorcerer. And I've gone through and I've actually put together some of the Exalted Sorcerers, and the Exalted Sorcerer box is an amazing reservoir for extra pieces, just in case you do want to put together something. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm showing a lot of the pieces actually have little motifs on them. Some of them will have like bird skulls or beetles or eyeballs. And I actually like to look at the pieces and kind of group the same symbols together to give them some sort of cohesion. So that's what I'm doing here. As you can see, I've gotten all the pieces into their piles as we need, and I'm going to begin assembling them now. So here we have the final product. I've got all of the Scarab Occult Terminators fully assembled, posed, and put together and ready to go. Now, as I said earlier, I really love this kit, especially because of how open their arms are. It's going to make it really easy to paint everything, and I don't even have to use subassembly at this point because of the fact that all of the details pretty much are accessible. So I'm going to prime these up, zenithal them, and hit them with my phthalo blue ink, and we're going to call that good to go. So with that, if you've enjoyed everything you've seen, like and subscribe, and consider joining me on Patreon. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. I really, really appreciate everybody who watches my channel.